Hi guys, as you know, Putin apologized to Ilham Aliev. We will talk more about the style, tone and vocabulary of this apology, but first I would like to pay attention to the very phrase Putin apologized. It's a true oxymoron. When was the last time you heard these two words together? Putin apologized. I think I've never heard them. We know that Putin did not apologize to anyone for any tragedies and often pretended they never happened. I specifically checked to see in which news article such a phrase appeared in 2024, and I found only 3 examples. The first one, Putin apologized to Merkel. The fact is that the former German chancellor wrote in her memoir that during a meeting with the Russian president in Sochi, he deliberately scared her with his dog, knowing that Merkel was afraid of dogs. Putin, speaking to reporters in Kazakhstan this year, apologized to Merkel for this episode with his Labrador Connie in 2007. Example number 2. Vladimir Putin apologized to a translator for non-stop speech making in Beijing during his trip to China in May. What a coquetry. And number 3. I would like to apologize to the people of Kazan for having to endure some inconveniences Putin said about the BRICS summit in Kazan. As you can see, all these examples are half joking, they do not refer to anything serious, so we're not talking about real apologies to anyone. This speech genre is actually not familiar to Putin at all, apology. But despite the fact that the very phrase Putin apologized became such an oxymoron sensation, we should not forget how exactly he apologized. Putin apologized to Ilham Aliyev for, quote, the tragic incident occurred in Russian airspace. From this wording, it's not clear at all what exactly happened to the plane. There is no mention of Chechnya and Grozny, which means that an ordinary viewer will understand absolutely nothing from this apology and the Kremlin's wording. This reminds us of the way the Kremlin and the Russian state media presented the situation with Yevgeny Prigozhin. They talked about the fact that the mutiny has been suppressed, but the fact that there was a mutiny at all had not been reported before. This is a very common reaction of Russian propaganda, or a tool of Russian propaganda, if you will, when they show only the consequences of this or that event to the viewer, to the audience, and the event itself is hidden. Such an approach can be called propaganda gaslighting, when they try to convince the viewer that nothing really happened, but there are some consequences. And of course, it's important what exactly Putin apologized for the tragic incident. This is yet another expression in the piggy bank of euphemisms that have become one of the main tools of propaganda. Special military operation, a clap instead of explosion, regrouping instead of retreating, goodwill gesture, abnormal munition drop, and so on. And now dozens of people have died, and Putin calls it just an incident. Tragic. The very word tragedy does not imply responsibility, as if it happened by the will of fate. However, Azerbaijan President Ilham Aliyev apparently got those euphemisms perfectly right, because now he's demanding a proper apology and compensation. As they used to say in the Soviet schools, Vovочка, leave the class and come in normally. So let's see if the phrase Putin apologized appears again.